Before this starts, I just want to say please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. This is my very first iceberg video. I know this is probably going to be really bad, but this is on a game that I'm very passionate about and I really like. So if you like this and want more content of this, I'm just trying to do a little bit of everything. Please like and subscribe, tell me in the comments. Also, I do stream on Twitch too. My Twitch is going to be in my bio as well on my YouTube, and I do post on TikTok, so you can go ahead and follow that if you want to, of course. But please enjoy. Also, special thanks to Sosu Morin. He's the one that created the iceberg. I'll leave a link to the description of the iceberg yourself and all the comments and everything like that, so you can look at it yourself. Dean Hall. Dean Hall was one of the creators, designers, and developers of the Dayz mod. When I say one of, I kind of under exaggerate. He is the creator and designer of Dayz. He made the original Dayz mod and later worked on Dayz standalone underneath Behemoth Interactive and their own company. He is one of the best game developers of all time, in my opinion. Kind of kickstarting the whole survival game genre as a whole, and the more realistic survival game genre. I mean, it was around before, but he really started the realistic survival game genre, or kicked it into like the light. But yep, Chernarus Plus. Chernarus Plus is the main map for Dayz standalone. It is essentially the default map. Without any mods, this is vanilla Dayz. This is the original map. This is different from Chernarus, technically, which was the very first map, which was the Arma 2 map. But they developed Chernarus Plus for Dayz standalone, to my knowledge. It's essentially the same as the normal Chernarus, but there's some updated spawns, some new locations, other stuff like that. But yeah, this is the original Dayz map. Dayz mod. Dayz mod is the original Dayz. It was developed in 2013 as a mod for Arma 2 and blew up. It was one of the very first big mods for Arma 2, and it was an incredible mod. It's the best mod for Arma 2. It kickstarted the entire Dayz game, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the mod. So, Livonia. Livonia is the very first DLC for Dayz, and it is a completely different map from Chernarus. It's completely different layout, completely different types of looting. How you have to go north for Chernarus, it's different for Livonia. And it is one of the only official Dayz maps that are not Chernarus. It's had multiple developments, multiple updates, and is still being updated to this day. It's a pretty decent map. I still love Chernarus because of the nostalgia, of course. But I do recommend playing Livonia if you haven't played it. But Frankie on PC. Frankie on PC is one of the original Dayz creators. He is the one that kind of kickstarted Dayz on YouTube and is a legendary creator that fell off the face of the earth for a while, but now is posting again. A little bit, kind of posting in quotes. He started this whole Dayz trend with the Running Mans and everything. He started Dayz YouTubing. He's a legendary YouTuber. Absolutely love him. Frankie on PC. Absolutely one of the best YouTubers of all time. The best Dayz YouTuber of all time as well. The Infusion Engine. The Infusion Engine is what Dayz runs off of, Dayz standalone now. It used to run off the Arma 2 engine, but the Infusion Engine is the same engine that's going to power Arma 4, and also it powers Arma Reforger. Now, the Fusion Engine that this Dayz runs on is the beta version of the Infusion Engine, which was, I don't know how long to develop, but that's why it looks like that. It's the beta version. I'm not sure if they're going to switch over to the full version, probably, but I am not completely sure since it is a 1.0 release and everything like that. But yes, that is the engine that it runs on. Zeds. Zeds are the original name for the zombies. It's the canon name for the zombies in Dayz. They're called Zeds. A lot of people call them Zeds. It's just kind of in the Dayz fandom. That's what they're called. The zombies are called Zeds. If you are a role player, sometimes I find some people calling them walkers. I think it's kind of cringy. I like Zeds. I think it's funny. I think it's weird. Alright, but you know, call them whatever you want. But that's the I guess the canon and just the name that the fandom calls the zombies in the game. Swan. I'm pretty sure this entry is referring to the fact that there are multiple swans around the map. I know there's some in Cherno. There's just these weird, like, rideable swan things that you can find, and they're all around the map. They're like an Easter egg, right? And you can find one in the middle of the woods, which is really, really funny, and we'll probably get to that in this iceberg video. But yeah, no, there's just swans around the Dayz map in Chernarus, so I take that as you will, I guess. RP. I think this entry is referring to the fact that there's a bunch of roleplay servers in this game. There's a bunch of no PvP servers. There's a bunch of servers that you have to create characters. Some of these servers are really, really fun, and it's a really tight community that is almost not always toxic at all. It's a really nice community. And it's just a bunch of Dayz players who just like to roleplay as post-apocalyptic survival, and I think it's really cool. This will be explained later in the iceberg, but essentially there is a statue of a general in the Dayz lore. He is one of the generals that are in the country that Dayz is set in, and we'll explain it later, his importance, but just know that there are multiple statues, and there is a statue in Chernarus, Upper Chernarus, like where all the apartments are. There's a statue of him. Food Easter eggs. This entry is referring to the fact that there is multiple items of food in this game, and they're all parodies of real life items. Top of my head, I can think of the Pepsi, the Coke. I think some of the beers as well are actually like Eastern European beer brands. Yeah, it's just the fact that there is multiple chips, drinks that are references to old or just real life items. Cut content from Alpha refers to the fact that during Dayz Alpha, before they switched to the Infusion engine, they had so much content for the game. I mean, the Og was in the game, the Longhorn, it was a bunch of that stuff. They added a lot of the stuff back, most of the stuff back, but there are cut stuff like helicopters, and also the fact that vehicles are not right. They used to always be right, but they used to be buses and stuff like that. This is just referring to the fact that there are some old content that they haven't restored to the Infusion engine yet, but are definitely going to as soon as they actually get it right, because a lot of the content from Alpha was very buggy. Never trust anyone. This entry refers to the I guess the slogan of Dayz. It just says never trust anyone. It's at the end of the trailer, I'm pretty sure. And that's the Dayz slogan, right? That's the whole thing with Dayz is never trust anyone. Santa and the Pipe. Santa and the Pipe refers to the fact that in Prison Island there is this huge pipe. You can't miss it, sticking out. But if you look inside of it, go on top of it, there's a picture of an evil Santa in it. It's the most random thing I've ever thought of, but it's been there since beta, I'm pretty sure. And it's just the fact that there's a Santa in a pipe. It, I guess that's one of the Dayz's Easter eggs. Which ring? Which ring refers to the fact that the central western part of Chernarus, you can find this ring. It resembles one of the symbols of the Blair Witch projects, and it's right beside a chicken coop, and in the middle there's like logs that represent a person, and it's just this like witch sign, and it's one of Dayz's Easter eggs, another one. But it's just this random location just out in the middle of nowhere in the forest off of a dirt road. But yeah, if you don't know that, then yeah, it's really cool. I've ran into it a couple times. It's something that you wouldn't really notice until you stop and actually look at it, because it just looks like a couple sticks from the ground, but then you fully look at it. But yeah, I'm gonna butcher this. But the Cern Abish Giant, it is northeast of the Crass Airstrip, and it is a figure in a hill, and it's essentially another Easter egg of a giant, and it is just a reference to one of the figures that you can find in, I forgot what it's called, but it's in Egypt. It's these lines, and they're drawn in a specific way and people have theories it's aliens or whatever, but yeah, no, it's just another Easter egg. It's northeast of the Crest airstrip though, if you want to go see it. Also you can just look up the location. It's giant, even on the satellite map, I'm pretty sure, of Daisy. But yes, that's one of the Easter eggs, of course. Where a lot of this entry, this tier is a bunch of Easter eggs, so yeah. Experimental capsule. This refers to the fact that during the Easter update of Daisy, they'll put on these capsules. It's just these like Easter eggs, and you can find them everywhere, and they have stuff in them. It's just this Easter thing, and they're all around the map. It's just one of the another Easter eggs that are in Daisy, literally Easter eggs, in Daisy. But yes, you can find them in the Easter update. So once Easter update hits, if you haven't found them, try to find them. They're everywhere. Belota used to be good. This refers to the fact that I'm pretty sure Belota back in the old Daisy days, back in the alpha, and also back in like the Armor 2 Daisy, Belota Airfield used to be pretty good, popping with loot. There was a couple military tents, there was a building, everything. It used to look completely different, but it was one of the only places on the east, other than Prison Island and the island, you could actually find military gear, and it used to be popping off, but now it's just essentially it's not that good. You can find like I think MP5 stuff and everything like that, and like some military gear, but you won't be finding M4s or AKs or anything like that there. Pit of Zombies. Pit of Zombies refers to the fact that all over the Chernars, you can find these pits, these mass graves of just a bunch of zombies that was probably executed by the military, and they were just mass graves while the virus was breaking out. This was probably around the point where they were kind of losing to the virus, so they just started executing all of the infected, and you can find these all over the map, and it's just these pit of zombies. The Spire. The spire references the fact that on Green Mountain there's a giant spire. It's one of the landmarks of the game, and it's called the Spire because it's just this giant thing that you can see from super far away. And there's a bunch of mystery around the Spire, and there's a bunch of mystery around Green Mountain itself that we'll get into later. But just know that the Spire is more so just about Green Mountain and the Spire that's there. Now, this is the very first time that I will say I do not know what this means. I looked everywhere and I can't find this quote from anywhere. I don't know what this means. Um, Help me in the comments if you guys know, but I do not know this. Novigrad. Novigrad is the capital city of Chernarus and is not actually a playable area, but it is the capital city. You can find it on maps, you can find the locations, but you can't actually go there. And I suspect that might be a map of itself, or they might extend Chernarus and add Novigrad. Who knows? But it is the capital city of Chernarus. Mini Daisy. Now, this is funny. Mini Daisy is a mobile game, and I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but it is a mobile game that is developed for iOS and Android, and it was I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember it too much. I didn't play it a lot. I just heard about it and I downloaded it once and I played it. But now there is a Mini Daisy 2, and there's also Mini Daisy, just the original. But yes, it was a pixelated mobile game of Daisy, and yeah, Hunger Games and survival games. This is an entry referring to the fact that back then, oh man, the good old days, there was survival games and Hunger Games. Essentially, it was like Battle Royale that the Daisy devs would actually host with streamers, and it would just be like a Battle Royale. It would be like Hunger Games, right? It was more like Hunger Games where there was stuff in the middle and they had to run to it. Um, but this was way back in the alpha and beta days, and this is just, it's long gone, it's sad, but this was a big event that happened back in the day, and now it's just kind of disappeared. A pile of deer bones. This entry references the fact that south of the prison in Livonia, there's this Reddit post that someone made that they found a pile of deer bones. It was essentially a deer skull. And as soon as they picked it up they could pick it up like an item. That was weird. They could pick it up like an item. It was like a deer skull, but they couldn't put it in their inventory because it was too big. It was like it was giant. But this refers to the fact that they just there's south of Livonia. There was just one time there was a deer bone, and you could just pick it up. It's really weird. The longhorn used to be the best weapon in the game. This refers to the fact that I'm pretty sure, you see, this is where I get kind of iffy about some of this stuff because I was in the community, like not really in the community, but this was the time that I was still decently little. But I'm pretty sure this refers to the fact that the Longhorn back in the alpha used to be insanely powerful, and also it didn't have a drop off radius, so there was no bullet drop in the gun, which instantly made it such a good sniping weapon, and it shot 308 too. But yeah, this is the Longhorn. It used to be the best weapon in the game, apparently. March 12th, 2013. This refers to the fact that this is the canon events of Dayz. This is where the virus started, and this is where the whole outbreak started. This is the date, March 12th, 2013. Highfields. This fact refers to that if you go out of the Dayz map more, so if you just run out of the Dayz map, there are these flat fields that are in the game that I guess is using for debugging. I don't think so. It's just these fields that are out in the game. I've retched them. A bunch of players have retched them by just walking. You'll find them, but it's just these fields that are completely empty. It's bare bone. I see you. Now this is funny. This refers to the fact that Arma 2 Dayz, there was this popular mod that was being ran, and yes, there was some mods that you could actually run in Dayz. It was one of the very first times that quote unquote Dayz modding would be a thing, right? But Arma 2, it was this mod that people ran, and it had the secret Easter egg that you would randomly get a transmission, and it was just this creepy voice that just whispered, "I see you," and then it completely ended, and a lot of people were freaked out. You can find it on the internet. It's everywhere on YouTube. And yeah, this is just a funny thing that is in the community that's kind of laying low now, but it used to be really funny. It used to be a big meme back in the day. Debug planes and debug island. This refers to the fact that there is a debug plane and debug island. This is for testing purposes. This is not anything deep. Don't get into like this is forbidden alpha content or whatever. No, this is for testing. This is a debug. Anything that has debug planes or debug island just means that it's a thing for testing gameplay features and different items and stuff like that. This is all for testing, but it is in the game. It's really neat. If you're a mod creator, you would use that for like just testing out your equipment and stuff like that. But yep. Green Mountain transmissions. This refers to the fact that there are audio files inside of Dayz, inside the game, and you can find them on YouTube, and there are these strange transmissions that you can find from Green Mountain, and I'm pretty sure people have actually gotten it to work in the game and gotten it, but this was way back in the day. There's these strange transmissions that you could get from Green Mountain, and it's lore stuff. It's a bunch of lore stuff that I really want to see touched on again, and hopefully it is. But yeah, really strange. Look into it. It's the Green Mountain transmissions. It's a really, really interesting part of Dayz. Poison Antler. Poison Antler, it was a YouTuber and Dayz creator back in the day who sadly passed away. She had a great fan base and was absolutely beloved, and sadly she did pass away. There is a monument of her for Dayz in Dayz that you can find, but this just refers to the fact that this was a YouTuber and content creator who sadly had their life taken away way too early. Alexander Baranov was executed. This refers to the fact that in the Dayz lore, there was this revolution that was happening called the Red Star, and Alexander was one of the Chernarus governments at the time. He was a big part of the government, and he was executed by the Red Star, by the revolution. And you can see that in the game, and that's why there's even down statues of him in the woods and everything like that. But this is again part of the Daisy lore that not a lot of people know. But there is actually lore Daisy, and they're trying to build upon that. There's a couple of the buildings and statues and stuff like that. But yep, I'm gonna be honest. This is another one that I do not know anything about. I tried to look everywhere for this. Apparently, the plane from Cherno Hotel, it started its flight in Cross, but I can't find anything, any evidence that actually backs this up. I can't find anything. This is, I don't know if this is a very obscure thing. Someone in the comments, please let me know. But I guess this is the theory that it came from Cross, but again, I don't know. Daisy pre-alpha leaks. So right before Daisy actually became announced, there was a couple leaks of Daisy. It was on the forums, but someone leaked Daisy, and it was kind of announced back then, but there was no trailer yet. But there's the screenshots of it, and it's just pre-alpha leaks of Daisy, and it's really really interesting to actually look through it because you can just find like the workings of Daisy being developed, and I think there's a screenshot of just like an Arma 2 soldier just fighting zombies, just a regular like Arma 2 with no mods. It's really funny, but yeah, you can find the pre-alpha leaks. It's really cool. Private alpha servers. I am not sure what this is referring to. I think this is a fact that during the alpha of the game, the very first alpha of Daisy the mod, there were private alpha servers that were used for testing different stuff, and this was when it was still being developed. I'm pretty sure either that or I have no idea, like genuinely, but that's my best guess. If someone knows, leave it in the comments, please. Russian servers banned by Bohemia Interactive in 2015. Now, this was a really interesting thing. The Russian community of Daisy had servers. There were servers called Crazy Russia and Crazy Russian. They essentially made people pay for loot in the game. So you would pay a certain amount of money and you could get loot. Well, the Russian Daisy community didn't really like that. So they actually banded together and was able to get Bohemia to remove all of those servers completely off the list. And they're still blacklisted to this day. You cannot have a server named Crazy Russian or Crazy Russia in your name because you will get blacklisted because it is an old essentially an old method that they tried to make money off a Daisy server, and people said, not having it. And yeah, it's a really cool thing. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making it in a video if you did. Make sure to like it if you like it, subscribe, comment down below. This is my very first iceberg, so I know, kind of bad, but I do multiple other stuff. My Twitch is right there if you want to follow me. I play Tarkov, I play Daisy, I play just any other game. I really like single player games. I want to get into game interviews as well. I just want to review different games, and I'm just really into different stuff. So please like it and comment down below what you guys want to see more of. I'll just start posting stuff, and I'll take suggestions. I'm just trying to do some YouTube. I don't know. I like creating a community. I've always wanted to create a community. I've always wanted to do YouTube, and I figure, hey, this is the time to do it. So tell me what you guys want, stuff like that. But thank you very much for watching. You guys have yourself a wonderful day.